Wanderers, welcome to the Wondering Dutchmen podcast. Today's episode is brought to you by Love Excavating.
Today's episode is brought to you by Love Excavating. Listen, when we say that we like doing business with local companies, we mean it. Why do local companies matter? Well, local companies donate to youth sports programs. Local companies hire local folks to work for them. Local companies give when civic and nonprofit organizations ask. And we appreciate Love Excavating for doing everything they can do in the community as a local company. The next time you need demolition, land clearing, or hauling done, don't hesitate. Call Love Excavating today, a local company that is deeply ingrained in this community that we call home. The Wondering Dutchmen podcast.
Where none of us are Dutch, but we all live in Holland, Indiana. Join us where we talk about what we all wonder about. This is the Wondering Dutchmen podcast coming to you from Smoker's Lounge.
The Wondering Dutchmen. Yeah. The Wondering Dutchmen. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the Wondering Dutchmen podcast. Coming to you from Smoker's Lounge, I am Esquire, and today's episode is brought to you by Love Excavating. Big thank you to our friends there at Love Excavating for coming on board this month. We appreciate it. I am joined at the table by two handsome devils. One of them comes to you by way of Richmond, Indiana. He rocks that turquoise turtle like it's going out of style, sipping the coffee, perspiring just a smidge. It's our buddy, old Smoke Dragon.
Hello.
Sitting here to my right, handsome devil with the mustache, little tussle of hair up top. The warden's lucky to have him. We're lucky to have him too. It's our buddy, Big Mace.
Hey, guys.
Fellas, what do we know? Anything going on? Anything exciting? How's life treating you? What are you sharing?
Oh, nothing. Just a little bit of this, a little bit of that.
Love letters from the warden.
You know, just some small talk.
That's love language right there. If that doesn't get you fired up. So every once in a while, I like to dabble onto Google Trends to see what's trending.
Sure.
Just to stay up to date with the young kids, the
Yeah.
hip folk. And obviously, and we were talking about it here, the declassification of the JFK, RFK, and MLK assassinations, which was a promise.
You know, all those Ks, you know.
Nope, don't even go there.
It's a wild deal, but I'm more worried. I'm more waiting for the KFC original recipe to be declassified. Where you at there, fat? Sorry, I just figured I'd jump on that K train.
But that'll be interesting. Our buddy Brado is a big JFK assassination
I bet
guy.
he's already through half everything.
God.
He probably is. I bet he's about fell off the elliptical 10 times as he's pumping.
He's probably not even listening to
I
us.
would text
Probably
him.
not.
I would text him, but it's too late at night.
I bet he's up.
No.
No, you don't think so? Another interesting thing that's trending, Barack Obama and Jennifer Aniston dating. Have you guys seen that?
What?
So supposedly there's a rumor on the internet. Allegedly. Okay. There's a rumor
outta
that
here.
Barack and Michelle are on their way to the Big D, and I don't mean Dallas.
Mm.
And then supposedly there's some rumor
Holy
somehow.
shit! Third hit.
I know. Jennifer Aniston and
Is the Obama family having a hard time amid the raging relationship speculations that Barack Obama and Jennifer Aniston are dating?
yeah.
What?
I didn't have that on my bingo card
What
for
an
2025.
Huh. That's. I can't wrap my head around.
No way. Jennifer Aniston? She's smoking hot.
He was the former president of the United States.
Yeah, but I mean, you don't.
Aged him like a sumbitch.
Yeah, you don't get.
I
And he
think-
still smokes the cigarettes, and he's and going outside and doing whatever.
I think that the presidency does age you. Like we could go in as president and we'd come out looking like,
Father Time.
yeah. I just think it is. I mean, it's a 24/7 job, right? Unless you're playing golf.
Which you can be effective from the golf course if you're efficient with your time.
Yeah.
He's got to keep the red phone strapped.
Yeah, that's true. And that is Today in Politics on the Wondering Dutchman podcast. Declassification and former President Obama dating Jennifer Aniston.
Well, good for him.
Yeah.
Like, he definitely did better because, I mean, Michelle, she was the first lady, and we respect her for that, but what a booger wolf.
Exactly.
Oh, my God.
What a booger wolf.
Hey, changing gears real quick. So outside, because Smoker's Lounge doesn't have indoor plumbing, so when you have to go relieve yourself, you could go to the house if you got to do the deuce. Mm-hmm. But if you got to pee, you just go outside and pee. Like, it's just the natural thing. Mm-hmm. So out there, because you still have the snow and ice going on, it reminded me of our neighbor in Michigan when I was in law school. She had 2 or 3, like, pugs. Like, ugly ass, gnarly teeth, looked like they'd been chewing on rocks for 10 years. And she'd let them out in her backyard. And so she had, like, it was a fenced in. She just let them out back, and then she'd scream at them to come inside. But it was wild because obviously they go out there to shit. She wasn't going out and picking it up.
Right.
So when springtime came around and all the snow melted, and Michigan gets its fair share of snow, and this was no winter to shortchange that snow, her yard, you couldn't take a step without stepping in dog shit. It was the most disgusting thing I'd ever seen in my life because as it melted, the brown just seeped out.
The Smoker Hill's got some of that. Little Dixie girl, she's getting old.
Yeah.
And she don't like to get her lady bits too close to the ground when it's cold out. She don't even like to walk in the snow much.
Yeah.
Well, she's been going through and just shitting 3 steps out of the door. So the sidewalk, now that the snow is melted, there's just turds all down the sidewalk. The problem is they're still encapsulated in the ice. You can't do anything with them yet. But you can't. We're going to have to do some work on that as soon as this melts a little bit.
Gus does pretty good. He goes way the hell down in the woods to shit.
Yeah, Dixie, she don't give 2 Fs.
Yeah, they it's kind of one of those things that Monty and Murphy will go pretty far to do what they need to do.
Yeah.
But it's just kind of one of those things. I don't know.
Tell you the other crazy thing, talking about this snow we were talking about at the break there. Daggone Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Nutty.
the snow they got there.
Nutty.
White, snowy beaches.
Nutty.
It is a wild thing to think about. And then people down there, they don't know what insulation is.
No.
And they don't. I mean, it is frozen pie, like all that mess for
We'll
that.
have to see. We'll see if we can get our friend from the island, from that old dump down there.
Well, he had posted, they got ice only down there.
Mile High. Yeah, he had the temperature gun out on the bridge and at the high point on the bridge and stuff. And
I seen a picture somebody posted.
Pretty
of this
cold.
poor little girl. I mean, she was probably loving it. But, you know, you got snow and ice, and all she's got on is like her rain galoshes, a pair of Levi's, and then like a hoodie.
Yeah.
That's as winter as it gets down there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The yep, that's a brain fart. Yeah, that's a brain fart, Dave.
Whatever. It happens.
It'll come back to you afterwards.
Well, I was trying to think about what it was, and now it's just completely gone. She gone. I don't know what it was. You guys ever have that happen?
Oh,
Where
yeah.
you just lose train of thought?
Nothing's here.
Yeah, that's true. That's another T-shirt idea.
Mm-hmm.
Sights boys running down the road.
Uh-huh.
Because we were talking about Dixie. We were talking about weather.
We're talking about the girl in Florida in galoshes.
Oh, now I remember. So they released the nominees for the Oscars. Do you guys even care about that stuff?
What's that?
The Oscars? Like,
little gold guy.
yeah. His name's not really Oscar.
Yeah, I got you.
Is there anybody that we know on there?
No.
Anybody that would surprise us?
No.
Hmm.
I didn't even know some
Is
of the
Oscars
movies.
movies only, right? That's just actors?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what it.
What's the award that can be like music or TV? Isn't there one like
Grammy.
Your Grammy is that?
Golden Globes, isn't it?
Yeah, I was thinking Emmy. There's an Emmy. I don't know what those.
Don't they have like the? They have
Innies or Outies?
no, they got the
Not to get too
EGOT
personal.
where you get Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and Tony Award.
Oh, the Tony.
Tony's like the Broadway stuff.
Yeah.
ESPYs.
That's sports,
not.
isn't it?
Yeah, that's ESPN. That's not anything to do with anything.
Mm-mm.
Nickelodeon Kids Choice.
Did you see what I shared out on our Facebook page? Is a guy that slipped out, walked out the doors.
And his buddy just couldn't get to
terrible.
his phone fast.
Terrible.
It's hilarious. The folks down there in the South, our buddy friend of the program, Andy McHugh, he hates the cold weather, and his
He moved to Indiana.
his sister, they live in Mobile, and they sent because Kendall in the office, they sent some pictures back of like the snow they got, and it's you would think it was up here a couple weeks ago. It's wild.
Grammys is strictly music.
Okay.
Correct. Also have to do a retraction. There was some shots fired about not getting the trash to the curb on Tuesdays. I caught a little gruff for that. Kyle, our buddy Kyle.
Oh, yeah.
Kyle, he got the trash out there this week.
That's good.
So it
We're
worked.
pissing off the coaching staff.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's okay.
Emmys are the National Academy of Television and Arts and Sciences.
You can win an Emmy for science?
I don't think so. I think it's science. That's
Television.
related to the
Television.
Yeah.
And then what's the Tonys?
Music, I believe.
That's like Broadway theater stuff.
Broadway theater. You're right. And the Academy Awards. What did we say that one was?
That's got a little bit of everything.
Artistic and technical merit in the film industry.
Yeah.
Damn, there's all kinds of these damn things. Grammys, Tonys, Academy, MTV Music, Primetime Emmys, Screen Guild, CMA, BFTA, People's Choice, Golden Globes, Peabody's. Jesus Christ, there's a bunch.
Yeah, nobody cares about them.
Not me.
Yeah, because we don't. Big fella, what are you wondering about?
Termites.
Yeah, it's a pretty heavy start.
So we have been doing work at the house, Casa de Masoner, trying to prepare the big move for the girls to get their own space because Max it's time. And the warden has been working her ass off down there in the basement, trying to get everything, ready to go and stuff. And I've been kind of just in that lazy ass rut that I was talking about, but been helping a little bit. And Monday, Martin Luther King Day, that is a federal holiday. So we were off and we decided to go. We slept in, went to lunch, came back home, and we were going to tackle some projects on the basement. And she was working on the stairwell going downstairs. She was taping off the steps to paint the walls on the stairwell going down, and I was finished sanding some spackle patches that we had, drywall mudded in and getting them all cleaned and ready for paint. And she got to the one, so you go down like 6 or 8 stairs to a landing, and then you turn and you go down 6 or 8 more down to the bottom. And she was in that landing area working on some stuff, and she said, God damn, there's a lot of cold air coming under the baseboard, like on the shelf part, like up like on the, not on the bottom floor of the landing, but like that little trinket shelf that goes around the outsides,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there is. There's a lot of cold air coming in there. That's wild. So we went and got the Spud bar, the old Wonder bar, and we popped that piece of baseboard off of that, and it was just wide open to the outside. And I was like, holy shit. Like there is a literal hole in the wall outside.
What side of the house would it be on?
East. And go outside, and she's like, oh yeah, well, it's running congruently with, is congruent the word that I'm looking at?
I don't know.
Concurrent. It's running in the same line as that gutter failure that we had.
So it would be running perpendicular.
That's causing
right?
Parallel.
It's running with that same area of water damage from that gutter failure and the step flashing that wasn't there, and this whole problem that Rabbit had to bail us out of. This house that we live in was built on by the person that lived there. He was a construction worker and a carpenter by trade, but
you always cut corners on your own stuff.
I do believe that was the issue. So now we are kind of dealing with that aftermath. So go outside, and she's like, oh, yeah, you can see it clear as a whistle right here. And it's cedar siding. And there was just like a small little like crack at the bottom of the wall where the sill plate sits on the formed wall for the basement.
Yeah.
So then she's like, we need to take this piece of, we've got 3/4 inch native hickory it's the same flooring that's on this little shelf. I wish I knew what the word was, what that's called, but it's just a little shelf that runs around the stairwell midway down. Pop that piece off, and it is literally like a mega maze. There's just termites all in it. And they came in from the outside, I guess, and ate their way up into the sill plate.
Because they wouldn't eat cedar, would they?
No. They're not supposed to. But the only thing I can think of is with that gutter failure, there was a moisture collection right there. And they do say that's their prime time. They prefer wet wood. And giggity. Me too, right? But they said that could be the issue which drew them there. And then once they were there, it just appeared as water damage. And then when we fixed that water damage issue, the termites were still in there, just letting her eat in that section of wall. So, to my much to my dismay, I was like, "This has turned into a huge deal now." So it went from literally like sanding little drywall patches and getting ready to paint to now we're going to like rip walls down.
Now, is any of that like is your foundation block or
no? They're poured walls.
Okay, so at least you don't have that.
We'll be fine on that aspect. So what we're going to have to do is I called a buddy. I'll just give him a free plug, but a friend of mine, Jose Galan with 812 Home Improvement.
Jose was in the neighborhood?
I punched him up immediately on that afternoon because I didn't know what to do. Like, I was like, holy shit, it's, Monday was one of them cold-ass days. I think it was like 10 or 11 degrees outside.
Real cold.
And I'm like, there's nothing I can't spray foam this hole shut because it's too cold. I don't know what I need to do as far as, I just didn't know. I was kind of in a spot. Like, I got that real, like, bottomless doom pit feeling, like, holy shit, we live in such a dump. Like, this is terrible. And called him up. He come out. He's like, holy shit. You know what I mean? I was like, yeah, you got it, buddy. And he called a friend of his up that was working on another job. He had him and another guy out there and ended up getting the outside sealed up, to keep the elements and the wind and everything, the cold air out. And then they had some,
the good news is it's on the east side, not the west side.
Yeah. So he got some fiberglass batting, some insulation, and jammed it down in there and kind of get everything sealed off. Gave me the number for a pest control guy. He came out Tuesday afternoon, the next day, did an inspection, obviously said, yeah, you got them, but they're dormant now.
So they can't kill them now?
So they can't kill them now because A, the ground's froze. B, when the ground thaws, it's going to be too wet. So when they pump the insecticide into the soil, it's just going to propagate and wash out. So he said, what you're dealing with, he said, you're like number 4 or 5 that I've found so far this winter that we're kind of in this waiting game now. Like, they're not in there now eating. They're obviously dormant. Like, they don't go dormant, but they don't go when it's cold and dry. So, but when it starts warming up and, they start to come back alive, he said, we'll go in and they'll do this treatment where they'll drill every 18 inches and pump this shit in all the way around your foundation, the entire length. So, like, up there where the asphalt's at and all that shit, they're going to have to drill through the asphalt to pump that shit into the soil to keep them out of everywhere. And then what hopefully has to be done is then they'll come in and cut that section of wall out of the outside. You re-stud it, redeck it, insulate it, and then put some sort of siding over top of it to kind of put everything back together.
Did they go explore in any to see how far out it goes?
Not yet.
So we don't know how big of an issue.
We don't know how big of an issue, but with my initial investigation, when I was ripping drywall out from the inside that I thought was just water damage, because that's where we had a leak and stuff, over that roof, like I was saying earlier.
Is that from where the bedroom?
Mm-hmm.
So is there termite stuff in those walls?
No, because well, I don't know, but that's where. So this area that we're dealing with is right where the addition ties into the original structure. So we go from like a block wall foundation to a poured wall foundation, but the primary spot that we found is about 4 feet in from that transition area. So when he goes in to redeck that, like he's going to have to, they're going to have to peel off both sides really far, just to get it to lay right and to get everything to look right. So
did the dogs ever give now looking back?
Do dogs know about termites?
Well, they would hear it, or they'd hear something in the ground, or they could smell. I don't know. I'm just dogs kind of have that sense of.
Do
you
they?
use dogs to find bed bugs?
Really?
Yeah, they train dogs to search for bed bugs.
My dog just eats old tampons and tears up the trash can. I don't think he's a bug dog at all. You know what I mean? I don't.
His name ain't Orkin.
No, yeah, I don't think he works for the Orkin man. Orkin man. But anyway, yeah. So it was just a terrible, terrible day Monday. And
so now, how does some places do you treat for termites?
We had it looked at, and we kind of go a year on and 2 years off with B&B doing
exactly
regular.
what this guy was saying.
But we don't do it year after year after year. But we've got before the addition, it's a brick home with a slab foundation. So not a whole lot of, I guess
they wouldn't find a food source like they found a food source there.
But now with the addition being stick built on and then just sided, so that's why we've really watched doing the year on, year off with B&B.
So I think with our house on 5th Street, since we did a government housing program, that first time home buyer stuff.
Yeah. You have to.
Yeah. It was one of the requirements to do it. So we had a company come out and they did the whole drilling and, put those
green pucks.
Yeah. That's exactly what it was. So this guy, same situation. They'll come in every 18 inches, put that stuff in the ground, and then he'll offer a yearly, for $300, I'll come back every year and pump them full. We'll just keep it going. You know what I mean? Which he said, knowing that you have damage and that you have an active colony here, it may be worth your while to, after you pay that initial money to get the treatment. We're going to come back.
Do around the shop too, right?
We'll come back, I guess.
Probably ought to.
We'll come back every so often and take a look at it. You know what I mean? To keep it going. So I don't really know how it works. I've never had to deal with active termites, but I know that they kill them from the ground is what he was saying.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
'Cause that's where they come from.
Yeah. So I guess the moral of the story is if you live in the woods in a wooden home that's wooden siding with wooden soffit
that gets
wet when it rains, that you have mulch surrounding with your landscaping, it's probably a great idea to, number one, make sure your gutters are clean.
Yeah, that probably would help.
Make sure your gutters are functioning.
Probably would help.
And get your damn house treated for termites. Because now we're going to have to deal with the aftermath of it. But
well, hopefully it's isolated and not a.
Well, even if you have to take out the whole wall, you got to take out the whole wall. It just has to be done. You know what I mean? That's just where we're at.
Sure, it's just I hope you don't.
You have to just nut up and do it.
I've just never thought about it, but we don't live in the woods.
I don't think you necessarily have to. I don't know why I threw that in there, but I think a person that would live on, Joe Schmo 3rd Street in Huntingburg, Indiana, would have just as big a chance of getting them as me.
Isn't that why some of that your bottom seal is treated lumber because they can't eat that?
I don't know. Not sure. But anyway, yeah, so that's where we're at now. And we're still in this whole waiting game with this big laundry list of contractors that just can't seem to give us a call back. That's not. I mean, that's
Any
kind of
wonders out there.
That's kind of a shot
looking for work.
Yeah, that's kind of a shot at some of the local construction contractors around here. It's a wild world to be in right now. Like, I couldn't imagine trying to build a new home or do anything because of the busyness of them.
Yeah.
Because of their lack of workers. Like, they can't get anybody to work. That nobody wants to work. Nobody wants to build homes and shit like that. So it's just kind of in a tough spot all the way around. But we're kind of in limbo with this big addition that we've been talking about for the last 2 or 3 years, where we've got plans drawn up. We've got blueprints. We've got everything we need to go. We just have had 5 or 6 people come over, look at it, walk around, take pictures, measure, write notes in their notebook, and then never call you back. It's a very frustrating deal. But that's where we're at. I need a new roof. I need new siding.
Well, we know a roofer.
Yeah, I know. And he's come over and bailed me out twice now, 3 times. And he's like, man, you need a new roof. I said, yeah, I know, bro. But I just
rip it all off soon anyway.
I know.
The plan.
And that's the problem. That's where we're
at. A
at.
good spring project for us.
Put a roof on?
Yeah.
I mean,
Not if you're going to rip it off to do an addition.
See, that's the problem. Same way with this thing. Like, when we had recently talked to Jose, I was like, Justine's like, okay, what do I need to start picking out siding? Like, for the future, like for the big, like when we're done, do I need to nail down that decision here in the next like 5 days? Because she's like, I know I want composite, I know I want hardy board, I want shake eaves, I want, she's got all these decisions are already made. Like, she's got
waiting on somebody.
She's got it all in her mind, and wrote down and on paper. And he's like, no, I wouldn't waste your time with that, because if this shit's going to change, it's all going to change. Because especially right there where that transition's at. So she's like, God, I hate vinyl. And he's like, yeah, I know, but a box of vinyl is $300. Yeah. And that'll cover 2 square. That's what you need.
Now, when you do your, because you're talking about like the hardy board, like
the exterior wall, like the outside finishing. The hardy board.
I'm trying to think of what I'm like planks like at.
Mm-hmm. Board and batten.
Yeah, you don't want to get it pre-painted. You want to paint it yourself.
Do I?
Yeah, because you're gonna have to do some caulking on that to fill some of those gaps, and there's some other ways to hang
filling
it.
gaps.
Bet you do, big fella.
But yeah, so that's where I'm at, man. We just kind of hit a fork in the road, and it's just something that I'm not going to deal with. I wasn't wanting to deal with. I was wanting to paint that stairwell. And then, like, this weekend, after we got some free time, run down to Lowe's and get the flooring and get that going, and hopefully try to get them girls transitioned down there in the next month or so. But boy, oh boy.
My buddy Jose. Worked construction with Jose.
He's a great guy, man.
We go way back.
He's a great dude.
We worked together a lot.
Yeah.
We worked together a lot.
He was on the original crew that did, when we bought that place, it was in rough shape. Mm-hmm. And Justine was working with a gal over at the hospital, and her husband was just kind of getting started. And Justine and I were like, well, it, let's give him a shot. And they did really good work, And Jose was on that original crew, and now he's blossomed into what he's got going on today. They
Guy loves to work.
Yeah, man, big time, and he just can't find anybody that don't want to.
It's kind of not to
wait a minute. He can't find anybody that wants to.
Not to detract from it, but it's like when we talked to our buddy Chuck about trucking, and I talked to my dad about it.
Times have changed, man.
It used to be an honest profession.
Yeah,
not a come by night. In the turnip truck last night kind of deal. Like, you had guys like it was an honorable and noble, like it meant something.
Yep.
And some of these old time construction guys, like that's what it was. It wasn't just a job because you needed one because you're on work release or you had child support. It was a profession.
Yeah.
You were a tradesman.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate that has changed, and the connotation of which that has changed, because this is what is the result of that.
I know it's frustrating, very frustrating. So,
hey,
but guess what?
Here,
it'll work.
Grab that other hand.
It'll work.
Sending you positive vibes.
We'll get through it, buddy. Hey, I'm too blessed to be stressed.
That's right.
Boys.
That's
Hell
right.
yeah.
Hell
hey,
yeah.
you got all that big podcast money. You just build your new house.
And that big old
half pot.
Half pot.
Oh yeah. Well, you
now,
burnt
what
that
if you
through.
win this weekend?
I don't know.
What would be the chance that he goes on a streak of half pot winners?
I ain't donating them back either.
I wouldn't expect it. Guys, not to change gears, but into a lighter subject
let's
here.
do it.
I'm just not a big leisure wear guy. I'm talking sweatpants. I'm talking joggers. I'm talking wind pants like he busted out last week. I'm just not a leisure wear
MC
guy.
Hammer.
Now, see, I consider, though, like you're a gym shorts guy. I consider that leisure wear. I know it's not
That's
leisure
not
wear,
leisure wear. Gym shorts are, you could get sporty at any time.
but I don't know. Any gym shorts I've ever had, because I'm a fat guy, I can't get sporty.
So,
they're hard to stay where they're at. I ain't got no hips, ain't got no ass.
So one of the podcasts.
Well, then what would you wear to get sporty?
I don't
Is
know. I don't
Duluth
get
trading.
sporty.
Yeah,
I mean,
He doesn't have
Wranglers.
He got my Wranglers
with the
on.
boot, with the jeans tucked in the shank of the boot.
And his 6-shooter right there, the old pearl handled 6-shooter.
damn right.
No, so I listen to our podcast, of course. I support the cause. And I listen to Pardon My Take from Barstool Sports. And they do a thing called Jumpsuit January. And I see them wearing it. And they look comfortable as hell. But as a husky fella, I just don't think a husky fella's meant to do that. Because when people see husky fellas, they already think you're a lazy piece of shit anyway. So by adding on a pair of sweatpants and a sweatshirt that match, it just makes it
Now,
worse.
see, on this,
Do you go ahead?
I had I can speak directly to this. So on Monday, our buddy, our pal, of Lights by Logan came and took off the Christmas lights. Took them down on Monday in that cold. And I'm out in the garage working on something for Jenna. I think I was hanging hangers for the folding chairs, card table chairs. And I heard the dog going crazy. I'm like, what the hell? And I go out there, and I've got this pair of kind of fuzzy flannel blue PJ pants that I'll wear around the house. And I go out to cuss at the dog, and here's Logan out there. And then here's my fat ass and PJ pants and a tattered ass t-shirt. And I was like, oh, hey, buddy.
With a court date later this afternoon.
And I was like, God dang it. And that's it. And Jen's like, why don't you just wear sweatpants? I'm like, I'm not wearing sweatpants. Fat guys can't wear sweatpants to anything.
You might as well
Like a
buy
fat
your
guy.
gray Velcro shoes and get it over
Yeah.
with.
Now,
You have a pair of gray
Did
Velcro
we talk
shoes?
about this on the show last week, or was it off the show?
It was off the show.
Okay.
Because you were sitting there and you guys like, yeah, Logan's coming to get the lights tomorrow. You're telling Jenna.
yeah.
No. Did we talk about sweatpants last week? We didn't, did we?
I feel
No.
like, man, not on the
It
show.
was off the show.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't remember exactly.
Did you look at my Amazon history?
I've been wanting to
What's the second one say?
Men's sports and
leisure.
No. The search down there.
men's sweatpants,
And then
men's elastic waist pants,
see?
iPhone 14 case.
See? Guys, I'm there.
I've been wanting
I'm
to,
wearing f***ing church pants right now because I am over wearing blue jeans.
Well, I thought with your get up tonight, you guys had a ball game or something.
We did. And I got asked, why are you so dressed up? And it's because I'm wearing khaki pants. It's because I'm wearing
flex waist.
no, I've got a belt on, which I've already taken off.
No, I wear a belt with flex waist pants.
I know, but I cannot stand wearing a belt anymore
Oh, we did talk about this.
because my ass is not, I don't have an ass. I have a back with a crack in it. And I can't wear like a non-belted breeches. Wait a minute. I can't wear a pant that is supposed,
Non-elastic.
yes, like a pant that is supposed to be worn with a belt. I cannot wear it without a belt. Some people can,
Right, but
Because
they don't have
they-
a belly pushing down their pants on the front.
and they don't have an ass. They have an ass to hang that
Yeah.
waistband on.
And the
And
problem is
and
I used to have an ass, and I thought I just lost it one time, but then I realized I think it just got fatter above my ass, and it overtook where the ass was.
yeah.
so I've been looking at these. They're not sweatpants material. They're more of like a moisture wicking, ripstop kind of.
Here's the thing, though. They're still going to push down because you still got the belly pushing the britches down.
Right. But if it's an elastic band, I'll wear gym shorts all day long, and they will not fall down.
See, I can't. Gym shorts fall off of me.
They don't for me because I get them that they fit right, and where I wear them on my waist.
You really can't wear gym pants, like shorts?
Gym shorts?
Gym trunks.
Gym
Dudley
shorts
calls them
by
gym trunks.
themselves will probably stay up, but like I can't have anything in my pocket.
Absolutely not. You don't put anything in your pocket when you wear gym shorts.
Where do you carry your knife?
I don't wear a knife. I don't carry a knife when I wear gym trunks.
What are you going to do if you got to cut your shoelaces open?
Well, I guess I'd go back to my car and get it.
Unless your shoelaces are stuck in a fence.
You don't wear a pocket knife. You don't wear a clip pocket knife with athletic shorts, David.
That's why I don't wear athletic shorts too.
I know. That's
well, hey,
where we're getting. That's
where's your Leatherman pouch at?
Well, I strapped it on for work this week, but then I was like, this just doesn't look very professional, Dave. And then I didn't want to be like, oh, God, he's got a gun. Like if the bottom of it was hanging out. So I just stuck with the clip knife for now.
I want to wear a pair of pants that I don't have to have a belt with a belt buckle that digs into my belly. And I know that I'm going to catch all kinds of, well, lose some weight, you fat bastard. Yeah, I know.
You know the answer to that.
Well, tell me.
Spenders.
Can't wear them.
Why?
Because I can't tuck my shirt in.
That's true.
You cannot wear suspenders. You're about the 984th person that's told me that I needed to wear suspenders. You cannot wear suspenders if you don't tuck your shirt in.
Right. But I'm a shirt tucker.
I'm not a shirt tucker.
If you were going to get some suspenders, would you get the ones that were the tape measure?
No.
I worked construction with an old feller that had a.
Do you tuck your undershirt?
No.
Okay. I always tuck at least my undershirt. So I've worn them under my overshirt before.
No.
The only issue you get into there is if you got to take a shit, then you got to take your shirt off.
Dave, why are you getting undressed in the bathroom?
I'm not a big suspender guy either because my gut's so big and wide that it just goes.
You got to put them out on the side.
Way out on the side. See, I'm all out.
But
I don't know.
Back you're trying to hold up.
I think it's because, guys, I have lost a little bit of weight.
Good.
And I don't think I've lost enough to downsize my pants. And they just fall off all the time. Like I've been battling my pants falling down more.
Tank ran dry. Just turn that one off.
The other one's empty too, huh?
Yep. They gone. Luckily, it's 80 degrees in here.
Yeah. Are you cold still?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
I mean, my toes will get cold.
My toes.
Yeah, my feet are cold. I got my shoes off. But I've been struggling more lately with keeping my pants up than I think I ever have. It's so much so that like my kids are noticing. Like, Dad, do you have a belt on? Yeah.
Now this is a stretch, and I've thought about. I used to have a pair. I don't have a pair that fits now, but I used to like wearing them a lot. Like just I don't know the kind of material I'm looking for. You know, like a mechanic shirt, like a blue mechanic shirt. You know what I'm talking about? Like the button-up shirt.
It's I want to say canvas.
You're close. You're real close. It's lightweight, but like a coveralls out of that stuff. You ever wear just zip up like a onesie? Like you got all the pockets. You got pockets up top. You can roll the sleeves up if you need to, but they never fall down.
Dave walks into work on Monday wearing coveralls.
You didn't ever. This is not a jab at all, but you didn't take AgMac or any of that shit, did you, over there? Like in the
horticulture. Horticulture.
But so like when we were in AgMac, like we had to have
you had the classic blue coveralls.
Exactly, like the classic blue short sleeve.
Yeah.
And that's what because you wore your school clothes and then you just threw your coveralls over to go out in that shop, so you didn't get grease and shit all over your clothes.
Maybe I ought to start doing that.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that.
To the golf course, you reckon?
No,
I bet I could.
No, you can't.
It's got a collar.
Yeah, it does.
Dave, you don't want to be known as that guy.
It's going to be 450 degrees outside, and
they're lightweight, not the heavy ones. They're not insulated.
The amount of crotch rot and jungle ass that you're going to have, swamp ass,
making pancake batter walking down the fairway. You wear gym trunks to baseball, and you wear quarter zips, and you wear sleeved hoodies and short sleeve hoodies, like Bill Belichick style, and you don't ever wear like. I feel like if you're not wearing, I don't think I've ever seen you wear a pair of blue jeans, maybe once or twice in my entire life.
I have one pair. So the biggest. So people always wondered, because I wear shorts a lot in crazy weather. Like I'll come down to the house and I'm wearing shorts, and
Me too.
I wear shorts out and about. And people are always like, wow, why do you wear shorts all the time? Like, aren't you cold? And really, it doesn't bother me too bad. But the real reason, and this is a big, I don't even know if I've ever told Janelle this, I just am so uncomfortable in regular blue jean fabric that I can't do it. I can't. The restriction of movement, not like I'm a quick, fast twitch guy. Like
now,
I need to be.
have you ever? Do you have any like stretchy jeans?
That's what I'm saying. I got one pair.
Yeah.
That's like that I wear.
That was a game changer.
Then my church pants, but like work, I wear like these Docker 360 that have the 4-way stretch. Got them on right now,
Yeah.
and that's what I wear all the time.
Right.
And that's what I love. Like I can do that, and I guess you could say, well, it's stretchy, it's that, but I mean, it looks nice and professional.
You wear a belt?
Yeah.
Are you an
Got
under
one
the
on.
belly guy or over the belly guy with your waistband? You're not. You're a normal waist. You're not a belly button guy.
No, I'm not a belly button guy.
See, that's
I used to be a belly button guy for suit pants.
You told me that I needed to do that. You said you would definitely eliminate a lot of your issues if you could just start wearing your britches where you're supposed to wear.
Yeah, I
them.
can't drive.
Well, you know
wearing
where
a
I
belt.
got that.
Like 3-hour drive. I
Oh
can't wear a
God,
belt.
no.
Just the gut.
Well, but when I
buckle
travel, like
situation.
when we go down to that swamp, that
I
terrible
wear gym
swamp,
shorts.
I'll wear gym shorts to
If
drive.
I'm driving like back to Richmond, I will undo my belt and unbutton my britches for the drive.
I 100%.
and then I got to find a place. Like I'm always trying to get pulled over, and they're like, "Sir, get out of the vehicle. Can I
70,
put my pants together?"
70 some hours a week. I would always do that in a bulldozer, or especially in a bulldozer, because you were really steep downgrades and really steep upgrades and all that shit, so they would just cut you in half. Which I think that was another reason why I switched to Duluth, because when I was wearing normal cotton underwear, the amount of times that I would like slide back into my seat to kind of like get back into my seat where I was at, right where your taint is in your underwear, like where you're right under your balls, it would rip every time. And I think it was from the sliding in the seat so much.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's tough being a fat bastard. I know it. I've really been struggling with it here lately, and but I think you could do leisure stuff if you got them.
I've been wanting a house robe
That would.
because then I would just wear my Duluth shorts and then the robe, and I think that
No shirt.
no,
No.
I don't wear a shirt.
the
like
day
a
you come out here to
smoking jacket?
podcast
Like a
in
smoking
robe
jacket.
and your skibbies is the day where we end.
I don't know. That might be the day we pick up.
I like wearing leisure stuff, but I want it to be classy leisure stuff. You won't catch me dead in a pair of jammy pants at Walmart. Never going to happen.
That's a tough spot.
I will wear some nicer looking pocketed sweatpants to like a sporting event.
You like elastic cuffs?
I'm an open bottom guy.
So am I.
Yeah. I'm not like the joggers, like you were talking about the jogger. That's very popular now.
And what I'm so jealous of is I've got
some
some
skinny ass ankles.
that can wear the joggers and look great. Because like in the golf world,
Bitch shins over here.
he could wear a good pair of joggers.
Oh yeah, and those girl pants. The boys wearing the girl pants.
The joggers, when they wear them to play golf in,
They're
you're
in.
like, God,
The
they look
capris.
great doing that.
The
But I just-
breeze?
No, not capris. Like
I've seen a man wearing capris before. Yes, I have on the golf.
But they
course.
show a lot of ankle, right?
Yeah,
Capris then.
yeah.
Well, I think the jogger ends like right on top of the ankle bone.
It's supposed to be that way, and
Yeah.
it's kind of like it's not for me.
I don't know. It's just being a husky fella.
It's tough.
You look like a slob anyway.
you fat bastard.
I think that's why I committed, because I was always a no shirt guy anyway, all year round. And then the fatter I got, I just, you know what, let the fat fly. I look fat anyway. You get drunk, it gets hot, just let the fat fly. But now with the skin cancer thing last year,
Yeah.
like I get real nervous about it. So I've wore a shirt more in the last year than I probably have the last 3 years.
Well, the Holland Legion.
Would beg to differ.
Yeah.
There's no sunshine down there.
I've never
Other than my
been
personality.
I've never been a shirt on swimmer.
No, I've never understood that. We've talked about that on this.
Yeah, we have. Yeah. So,
I think it's one of those things. I think it's a mind thing, because I think it probably is doing you less favors wearing the shirt.
Yeah.
But somehow you feel more comfortable.
Well, and I think I'm going to throw it out there. There's some women that like heftier fellas,
chubby chasers.
and their smoke shows Some would say my wife.
Yeah, we're all married to him.
Yeah, and I would think like there's nothing more manlier than a big chested, big belly guy that just rocks it on the beach, And that's when we go to that swamp where you got to watch out for needles in the sand.
I
and all
tell you
that
what,
stuff.
I was redder than the end of a dog's dick when we were down there last time.
Looks like that buddy needs to go to the burn unit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Dave, you got that fair skin.
Yeah, I definitely zapped out some color of the tattoo. That's
The Irish
Yeah.
Indian part.
The
of it.
Irish.
Yeah.
Hey, we're going to take a quick pause for the cause, brought to you by Love Excavating. This pause for the cause is brought to you by Love Excavating. Have big plans in 2025 for constructing a new home, a garage, or that shop you've always wanted? Is your potential build site less than ready for that building? Well, the good news is Love Excavating can handle it. Just earlier in December, Love Excavating was in action preparing a future home site just off Highway 64 by the Holland Junction. Love Excavating is your go-to when it comes to land clearing, site prep, and then any hauling that needs to be done. Trust the professionals with the experience at Love Excavating for your next building site. All right, Dave, your topic here, self-employment versus working for someone else, maybe my biggest paradigm shift.
Yeah, so 2019-ish, I went, at work, I was telling everybody I was trying a new hippie lifestyle, a lot of self-reflection and introspection, and really trying to figure out why I'm the way I am. And it's last year or so, I've really
Good
been
luck on
thinking
that,
about it. I think the biggest life change I've had, like personal outlook, is I can't remember until the last year and a half, 2 years, somewhere in there, I always wanted to work for myself. Wanted to have a machine shop out here. And I don't mean like a side gig one, like that's just work for myself full time. That's it. Nothing else. Like that was the dream. You're not doing it right unless you're working for yourself. But in the last year and a half or 2 years, Papa Kimball may have to like pick me up and carry me out. Like I'm not planning on going anywhere, and I don't think I'd work for myself. I can't imagine an amount of money that I would want to be. Like I could do the work, but I'm afraid I'd never stop working. Like I'd always be worried about it not being there the next day, so I better do all the work you can do now, just in case it's not there tomorrow, and I'd freak out. And I was talking to a guy at work about it. He's like, "Oh, I'd love to work for myself." I was like, "I was there once. The hell with that now." But maybe it's because I'm old. I don't know. I'm trying to decide if it's a midlife crisis thing. Is there like a cold draft coming under here? Anyway, I feel it on my fingertips. But I thought maybe that door creaked open. But anyway, I don't know if that's part of my midlife crisis.
Squirrel.
You mean the door that we have to slam to close?
Well, I didn't know if it got slammed closed. I don't know what's going on there. We got to figure that out.
I think I'd have a big issue with like going to work if I was running my own work.
I got really close.
We'll get it tomorrow. Let's go
Yeah.
fishing.
Now, see, Jenna's concern was because I got really close here. I had some machines lined out. I had been talking to REC about getting 3-phase out here at the shop and what that was going to take. I went and talked to somebody that was going to set me up with a no interest loan and some work to start with to get it kicked off. And then, so it's getting real close. And Jenna said, if you can go out in the shop and make money, you'll never be in the house. And I think she's probably like, she's 100% right. The problem is like I would work real hard all day and then I'd probably drink plenty of beers.
Fair amount of beers.
Machine shop after that and end up with no fingers. But I think I'd work all the time. If I could just come out here and listen to the radio and rock out, like, having trouble sleeping? Let's just go make some parts. I think I would.
As the guy that
you've
was
done this.
self-employed for 7 years, it's a young man's game, depending on the line of work. So a lot of attorneys do go out on their own or hang a shingle and do it. I did it in the beginning of my career, not the end of my career. So, hell, I was still helping build houses, working construction, and doing legal work. And then finally the year came to an end, and I was like, I'm done doing construction. Like, this is what I'm doing full time. Like, obviously, this is what I went to school for, not to frame houses, but do this.
Sure.
But I would say everybody's low-hanging argument about being self-employed is, well, you can do whatever you want. It's your time. That is the biggest crock of shit ever. My calendar then was just as jammed Monday through Friday working for myself because you got to go make money. You eat what you kill. And it turns you into a different person. Like I get accused of being a dick and tough to deal with sometimes. It comes from that because there's a value to your time. You realize what your time's worth. And so I think for me, it's self-diagnosed, but I was and Janelle would probably say it, but I was in and this was before Mom got sick, but I was working so much, the types of cases I was handling, the problems I had, I was, for all intents and purposes, depressed. And it would be so hard to get up in the mornings to go to work because it's like I'm staring down this barrel again. And it's great being self-employed, but you got to make a shit ton of money to make a living. And even out of like a solo practice firm with what you have to pay in taxes, you're paying an assistant, you're paying rent, you're paying office supplies, you're paying for your CLE stuff, you're paying for malpractice insurance. Like you're doing all that stuff. And it takes a big chunk of the pie. And so the self-employment thing is great. And some guys can find it and do it. But I saw our buddy, Rabbit Roofing. You need a new roof, call Rabbit. He's done 2 for my dad. He's been great. Like when we finally do our remodel and rip all that damn metal off that son of a bitch, like he's going to be on that roof putting it up there. But, it's the same thing for him. You got to go out and work because nobody's going to make that money for you. He's got crew, he's built his business. Mm-hmm. But I think there's some professions where you can do that. But then there's some where it's like, if you're out tinkering, it's just like your neighbor up here on the road does car auto body stuff. We'll go by on a Saturday night and the old smokestack's churning out heat and the lights on.
Yep.
And you're working all the time.
Yeah.
And I just think
it's nice to just step away from it.
And in my new role, the biggest thing of it is there's a security that for you, Mr. Kimball's going to keep paying you.
I don't think I'd ever take a vacation, like a week of vacation, if I worked for myself.
Here's the true story of this. 7 years in practice. The most I took was 5 days, and that's when my mother passed away from cancer.
Yep.
5 days was the most I took in 7 years. Now, I'd take a day here, a day there, or a couple here or there, but never to the extent like we do now, where we take a full week and we head down to that swamp. Never.
And I think that's part of the paradigm shift for me because then this is my time. Like when I was it's 2 years ago, but we're going to say when I was a younger fellow, like, I'm making money for somebody else and I could be making money for myself and blah, 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 blah. But there's something to having somebody else to pick up the slack.
Amen.
You know what I mean? Like
Yep.
I've got a job where I can,
Yeah.
And the beauty of it is, I think, is I hate doing that. Like I won't just leave. I don't want to leave and have somebody like, oh, that SOB left all this
shit show. Yeah.
But because of that, I think that other people are that way. Like, oh, God dang, I don't want to leave and then pour it all on the poor sap that's behind me. And you don't have that, I think, working for yourself.
I think my personal flaw would be like I'm a pretty good list follower. Like you draw me out a list or you give me a task of duties that need to be done and I'm going to get it done if I can.
Yeah.
But if you put that like
just random things that need to be done.
If you put my job would be to make that list, we're
It'd be tough.
Yeah, because my ADD brain's going 950 miles a minute, and I'm thinking of all the shit that I need to do.
Right.
And then I get overwhelmed, and then I don't do shit.
The operation shut down.
You betcha. So I don't know. I think it would be I think a lot of people get lost in the perks. You know what I mean? I see these guys that are running their own businesses. They're out tomcatting with the hobnobbing with the big rigs and doing going on hunting.
They don't see them when they're working at 11 o'clock at night.
Exactly.
Balancing checkbooks or
doing other stuff,
worrying about things.
No, the only way that and here's another real life example. We know my wife's a veterinarian. There was an opportunity to buy one. And I said, if you want to do it, I'll support that son of a bitch all the way through. Like, I have no problem if that's what you want to do. But I'm going to tell you this. and I think this was before we had Rhett. I said, you're out for that amount of time. Who's making money here? You're shut down, or you're paying somebody else to come in, so you're just getting a little cut of it. When it comes to hiring and firing, that falls on you. And this was right around COVID 2020. So it was one of those deals where, like, you're going to lose employees.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's having a hard freaking time hiring people right now because the government was paying people to stay home.
Sure.
Like, these are the things you have to think of. Like this, an example again, that week we take down, or that week or the few days where we go do this or go do that, you're not getting paid if you're not working.
Right.
And then you got the on-call situation. And then you're working Saturdays.
Ugh.
And still it was in another time zone, so you're still not gaining anything. But if you want to do it, support it 100%.
Sure.
But it's like, that's the thing people have to go into doing it. And the only way, I don't want to say the only way, or never say never that I wouldn't go back to being self-employed. If one of my kids goes to law school, Dad, I want to not do what I did, but I want to come back to Huntingburg and have a practice. If I'm in a spot in my career where I've done it all right, we'll set it up and we'll run it. It'll be a legacy thing at that point.
Mm-hmm.
But, I know it was a tough day when I shut down. And like a lot of people thought it was COVID related. It wasn't. It was a good opportunity. I was kind of at my rope's end. I had a major life event where I was like, I'm working myself to a heart attack at 50 for other people when I'm not getting it, and I still was good at what I did. I still enjoyed it, but your priorities change. But if one of my kids, now Zoe wants to be a veterinarian, wants to be like Mom, that's cool. Ryan's not interested in anything but just playing, wrestling, and fighting. And Rhett's just a few words at a time. But if one of them goes to law school and is like, hey, I want to do like what you set out to do, 100%. Because it was a good life lesson. Learned a lot of things.
Yeah.
But the other side about being a business person is you got to make money. And you know how many times I would take calls where somebody's like, hey, I'm in a really tough spot. Can you help me out? Yeah, I got you. Well, what do I owe you? Don't worry about it. Or, this or that. And it's some guys, if you're going to get my time, you're going to pay me for it. But for me, I sometimes looked at the future if that's going to be repeat business by doing it and I can make it up in the long run.
Yeah.
But a lot of times, you feel heartstrings for people that like, hey, this is going on. Can you help me out? Yeah, I'll do it at a reduced rate. We can do this. Like, we'll make it work. Well, will you accept payments? A lot of guys, you talk to a lot of attorneys. Hey, can I pay you, like $100 here, $100 there? They'd laugh at you.
Right.
But I had a guy, he was into me for $1,000 and I'd get it $50 at a time, but he paid it off. And there'd be times where he wouldn't pay. And I'd be like, hey, bud, I did you a favor here. Now you got to pay. Like, this is, I don't know. It's a wild thing, but I'd say too, like I was bad at business because somebody calls you, somebody like I did, but it made me feel good as a person though. Like somebody, one example, had cancer, kind of late stage. They didn't have any of that stuff. I did it, made the home visit to do it. What do we owe you? Oh, don't worry about it. You for sure? Yeah, don't worry about it. When that person passed, who'd they call to do the estate? Me.
Sure.
But it's one of those things too. Like you got to think about that. Like these guys that have grown successful businesses, they've grown it because at the heart of it, they're decent, good people to deal with. Yeah. So I don't know, Dave, if you're going to go out on your own machine shop, we're going to need a new studio, I guess.
Yeah, we wouldn't have time for a podcast. Maybe that's what the paradigm shift is.
Yeah, it's the podcast to change your life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All for the best.
There we go. Hey, it is time. Does today's episode feel a little bit heavy?
Yeah, that's okay.
Except for leisure wear, and that felt heavy because we're husky fellas.
Yeah, really down on ourselves.
Yeah, really bad. Hey, those wintertime blues? I'm glad we could help on this Friday. It is time for Brado's 3 Big Things. I bet he loves leisure wear. Brought to you by Merkley & Sons.
Listen, January is all about making and likely breaking New Year's resolutions. One New Year's resolution that you won't break is making sure that Merkley & Sons is your family's official provider for quality cuts of meat and other products you need for your family in 2025. Merkley & Sons is right here in our backyard and is a family operation that you know and you trust. Make sure Merkley & Sons is a stop on the shopping list every time you're out getting the groceries. They are the ultimate destination for meat enthusiasts for a reason.
All right, fellas, here we go for the week of January 19th. 5 trillionaires. That's how many people are expected to amass at least $1 trillion in wealth within the next decade. If current trends continue, the world's first trillionaires will be, here's a who's list of folks: Tesla CEO Elon Musk, Amazon founder Jeff Bezos, Oracle founder Larry Ellison, Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg, and LVMH CEO Bernard Arnault and family. Holy smokes. Quick, without looking it up, how many zeros in a trillion?
9.
Attaboy.
Is it?
I
I don't know if that's the right answer.
You got 3 for 100, 6 for
3 for 1,000.
another 3 for 1,000,000,
Yeah.
and then another 3 for
Well, no, you said 3 for 100. 2 for 100.
2 for 100. Sorry.
Yeah.
So do we know?
Just search how many zeros in a trillion, Mace.
Yeah, okay. How many
It's 10. It's going to be 10. I think.
zeros are in a trillion?
Good radio here.
12.
Oh, way off. And seriously, do you really need all of that? How much is it just for showing off? You know who I'm surprised not on that list? Bill Gates. But I guess
He's dead. Or he's not. I'm sorry. I was thinking Steve Jobs. Never mind. Sorry, Bill.
The thing is, Bill Gates only has one thing he's really into. Those other guys are all dipping in a lot.
Yeah.
But I think, to the point Brado just made there, it depends on if you're being a decent person about it. Musk has all that money, but he spends a shit ton just
Shooting rockets in the air.
There's been advancements made that have helped, like Starlink. That's a pretty big deal.
The Neuralink thing, I think, could be a very
That
big deal
could
in
be
the
a
future.
big deal. Bezos, that guy. Oh, you know who I am surprised not on there? Who's that nut job that was the T-Mobile guy? I thought he was up there for a while, and he was getting into
Richard Branson.
That's the one.
Well, but he stuck all his money in like the Virgin airline,
Space. Yeah, that's right.
Space. He's blown a lot of money too.
But yeah, I think that you can't do that much with it. But if you leave behind something that goes for, I mean, you're going to be able to leave your legacy like to your family.
Yeah.
But I imagine that the impact of the money goes beyond.
So I always love these, like putting things into perspective, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It says current estimates by the U.S. Mint place the number of pennies in circulation around 140 billion today. Others have estimated as many as 200 billion currently are circulating. Since the first penny was minted in 1787 until present day, over 300 billion pennies have been minted in the United States. It's bigger and taller. A trillion is bigger, like it's bigger than a football field and like 3 times as tall as the goalposts. Is what a trillion would look like.
A trillion pennies?
Yeah, if you stacked them all up.
That's pretty cool.
Like it's unbelievable.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
If you had $1 trillion to your name right now, it's estimated that you could give every living human being in the world $125.
That's pretty cool.
That is a boatload of money.
Elon just sends us a check for $125.
Like a barge full of money.
You'd still have to work. I mean, maybe not like a clock.
If you had $1 trillion,
you wouldn't have to. I feel like I would have to still have something productive to do with my time.
Yeah, spending that money.
Like you'd have to have something productive from it. Like, how do you teach your kids to be decent human beings, though, if you just were like, yeah, we got $1 trillion, so we just vacation year round for the rest of our lives? And what kind of joy would you get from vacationing if that's just all you did? Like, there was no. I just can't see that I think you'd still have to have something to do to feel good about yourself.
Yeah, it'd be a tough existence.
Yeah.
Hey, good news is
We don't got to worry about it.
Sleep woes. A restless night may leave you feeling tired at work, but what if your job is the very thing disrupting your rest? People with highly sedentary jobs, that's about 80% of the U.S. workforce, face a significantly higher risk of insomnia, according to a new study. I'll be honest, I had to look up what sedentary meant.
That surprises me.
Yeah, me too. And I guess my job would qualify as that, and I'm not a great sleeper. What about the Dutchman?
I'm curious how far they've gone into that, because I think part of the sedentary deal is all the stimulants you take all day to try to keep on your toes, and then I think that just wears into not being able to wind down.
Yeah, probably.
And I don't think it's just that you're half relaxed all the time, so you never feel like you can sleep because you're never that tired. I think you're just overstimulated.
That's exactly what it is.
I had a sedentary job for 15 years, and it was terrible for you. Like sitting on your ass running equipment for 12 hours a day or 12 hours a night.
Could you sleep though when you got home?
Oh, yeah, like a rock, because I was so tired from trying to stay awake.
Right.
The hardest part of my job was trying to stay awake.
Yeah, you wreck one of them dozers. That's not like...
Yeah, you're toast. But it's just, you're trying to find the bottom of your lunchbox. You're trying to stay awake. You're trying to do whatever you can do, pounding coffees, smoking cigarettes, all that stuff like you were saying. But
all the enes.
Yeah. But
caffeine.
Yeah.
Amphetamine.
Yeah. I mean, sleep debt is a real thing. I mean, we all know that.
Oh, yeah.
So
I would say, being a great sleeper, like for us now, probably the biggest thing was the CPAP. I wake up feeling pretty rested.
Yeah.
The second thing is Janelle and I have a grounding sheet. You laugh.
Did you buy it from Liver King?
No. It's different. It's not a Liver King operation. But we sleep with the grounding sheet, and there's a noticeable difference. I sleep a lot better now than what I ever have.
Where'd you run your ground wire to?
House is grounded.
Yeah.
So you just there's a little plug. So the one we have, and you just put it in the grounding hole
of
an outlet, and then it grounds. It's grounded. Yeah, I think
stay grounded.
And I think my younger brother, that he's gotten one, and he said he noted over time noticeable
sleep
difference.
On it or under it?
On it. So it's probably like 3 feet wide, and then it just sits kind of. And the crazy thing of it is, like Monty, as he's advanced in age, the old pup, he won't know where it's at because the top duvet cover or whatever's, all the sheets are on top of it, but he will lay horizontal
on it,
and 99.9% of the time, his entire body's on that grounding sheet. Dogs know, animals know, but we do. And like they say, like inflammation and some of that other stuff, and they've done some studies on it. But I started doing it, and we sleep with it every night.
Now I'm curious. We've got like at work in the electronics industry, like if you're working on stuff, you wear a ground. So you got like a bracelet on, and it's plugged into a ground, and it just keeps you grounded, so you don't have an electrostatic discharge event. But I wonder if I could just bring one of those home and ground it and just wear it around my wrist.
See, now I wanted to try because I guess it'd be a voltmeter, but obviously if you're grounded, you're running a 0 there, and I've always wanted to try it and see, if it actually is or isn't. Maybe it is. What is it when they say it's not? It's psychosomatic, I guess is the word I'm looking for.
Placebo?
Yeah, placebo effect. But I, sleep pretty deep with it. I mean, where I even get to the part where I wake up where I'm like, I remember I had this little touch of a dream. I don't know. It's crazy.
Dang.
Going from no dreaming to a touch of one. Last one here, Blue Monday, goes into from Wednesday's show. It's Blue Monday, the third Monday of January, which is rumored to be the most depressing day of the year. That's just a myth, but seasonal depression affects millions of people. Brado, I believe it's why people on the East Coast, New England area are labeled as rude. It's freaking cold out there. Why do the Dutchmen think the cold drums up such bad feelings?
Lack of sunshine, and you're always cooped up inside, so you're never getting any really fresh air. The breeze, the wind, it's always just knife cold. You know, I don't know. Everything's dead. Like there's no green leaves or...
And this could be horse shit.
Fresh flowers.
Things get cold, like, you know, electrons don't move as energetically.
Mm-hmm.
So I imagine your body isn't moved, like your core matter isn't moving as much.
Yeah.
So you're more sedentary as a whole.
I think you feel stiffer too, obviously. Oh, that's
Just
cold.
not every, you know, you just ain't moving. You ain't got it.
I would say that, well, when I moved up to Michigan, all the locals up there said you have to find a winter activity or you're going to drive yourself nuts. Whether you go skiing, you go tubing, you go snowshoeing, you go cross-country skiing, you go ice fishing, you have to do something that gets you.
Snowshoeing?
It's a real thing up there.
Just hiking in the snow.
Yep. But you have to do something. And I think that's what happens. We don't here. We're used to being outside spring, summer, fall, like busy going. And then when that gets to stop, it just makes it tough. But
I do enjoy my outside walks, even I walked in the other day for my walk and my mustache was frozen.
Yeah, get that effect getting out of the tub, hot tub, out on the porch, taking in the stars. There we go. Brado, thank you. Big thank you to Merkley and Sons. We've talked long enough, and if you listen to the entire episode all the way through, you realize that today might have been a little bit heavy, but just know the sun's going to shine tomorrow. We're going to be all right. But it's time for some final thoughts brought to you by Love Excavating.
If you have a driveway that is rock like Esquire's, you know this freeze, thaw, and rain is detrimental to the cause. You know who can help you fix your driveway? Love Excavating. Love Excavating can provide a plan to help redirect water flow down your driveway and put the proper drainage in to help it keep from water collecting. Love Excavating can also smooth out your driveway, haul in gravel that you so desperately need, and make sure that your driveway isn't one that people will complain about. Give them a call today. Your driveway, your spouse, and your guests will all thank you.
All right, Smoke Dragon, send us home on some positive notes.
I don't have any. Just stay positive. Keep on fighting and push past the eternal drag to do nothing.
Big fella?
Don't be down, or what is it? Don't be a clown. Turn that frown upside down.
When you're down, look at a clown.
That's right. Be down to clown. Peace, love, and positivity. Keep your head up, champ. And all that other stuff.
Hey, and if you lost to us last week at trivia, no hard feelings.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and if
for the kids,
just come on, man. Just do whatever you want to do.
Yeah, whatever you want to do.
Love you guys.
Love you
Thanks
guys
for listening.
Big thank you to Merkley and Sons, and of course Love Excavating for their support here in July. Sending out on a high note.
January, bro.
Shoot. Already thinking ahead.
Always thinking of that sunshine, baby.
Oh, yeah. When this episode airs, it is January 31st. That means January's over. We get into February. That means March right around the corner. We will see dandelions within a month or so.
Mowing.
And mowing
Easter
grass.
flowers.
Easter flowers. Easter's late this year. I think Ash Wednesday's March 5th.
I've been thinking about getting a roller just so I can get on the mower earlier this year.
Yeah.
Roll the lawn.
I got baby. Atta baby.
Borrow it.
But like we've said, stay up, stay positive, get outside, get a little fresh air.
Stay up.
Spend a little time with some friends.
Yeah,
find something to do.
Nothing's here.
Yeah, nothing is. And with that, fellas,
Dutchman out.